Hope everybody are been safe in home. So stay safe in your homes only. Okay. Uh, and you all know what is happening in the world as well as in the country. So according to that one, please be safe in your home. Okay. So the learning could not stop. So that is why we have started the online classes for you people. So welcome to the today's session. So in the last class, we have learned a lot of things about federalism, how our country is called as a federal country, on what basis we have adopted the federalism in our country. Okay, and how the powers are being shared among the central government, state government, and the local government. How the third tier of the government, that is the local government, was being adopted in the constitution in the year 1999. So some amendments took place, and they came to know the importance about local government there. So as a result, for the effective administration at the state level, the third tier of the government was being adopted. So in the last class, we have learned a lot of things about the federalism. So in the today's session, we are going to see the new chapter in the economics called the sector of Indian economy, as well as the sectors of Indian economy. Do you know in the last year you have learned some activities which have been bifurcated into the sectors of economy? I think you people remember there were the three sectors. Yes or no? So about these sectors only in deep you are going to learn how they will contribute for the economic development. So in order to understand the function of any kind of economy in the world, as well as in any kind of country, we need to study the various sectors that compromises as well as they will work in a country there. So you have to understand in what way they will function, as well as in what way they will contribute towards the economic system as well as economic activities. So you all know people are engaged, lot of people are engaged in a lot of economic activities. Okay, with you can take any kind of economic activities. Okay, like street vendor, vegetable seller, wholesale seller, retail seller, businessman, traders, factories, farmers, teachers, doctors, washerman, lawyer, any kind of occupation you can are the people are engaged. Okay, so these activities only in Indian economy we have grouped as well as we have classified under some important criteria. By using some criterias, we have bifurcated the activities into three parts there. Okay, in the last class you have studied, in the last year only have studied about the sectors of economy as well as what are the three types of economic activities which take place in the country. Okay. So in deep in this year, you are going to learn little bit more things about sectors of Indian economy. So according to that one, we have bifurcated these economic activities into three parts. Okay, in which category, which economic activity will come, we will try to understand that one in the today's class. Okay, just we are showing the brief introduction about economic activities. So in the last class only have learned, just it is a brush up for you people to understand in a deeper way. Okay, so if I take the example of natural resources, natural resources are available now in our country. Yes, like iron ore, manganese, copper, coal. So these are some of the even metals. Metals are available. Minerals are available in your surrounding. Sources are available. Resources are available in your surrounding. Land has been used for various pattern. You all learn this kind of things. I will name in the name of natural resources here as well as natural resources. So for an example, if I take cotton or any kind of fiber like silk also, cotton or a silk or any kind of plants which you are growing, whether it belongs to the agricultural crops. Okay, so these are totally depend on what? These are they are totally depend on some natural factors. based on rainfall, sunshine, climatic condition. We are going to several crops, several uh, we are doing several activities in our country. Yes or no? So the uh, cotton plant dependently mainly but not entirely on the natural factors. Even some on other factors also it has been dependent there. So the natural factors like rainfall, sunshine, climate, the product of this activity, cotton is a natural product. Okay, by using by the sunshine, by the rainfall, proper climatic condition, proper agricultural activities, you will grow the cotton there. Okay, so this cotton is a natural product for you people. It is a raw metal as well as it is a natural product. Another example, dairy. Okay, so we depend on dairy on biological processes only. Animals will be there. With the help of animals, we will extract the milk, and then that milk we will send towards the different parts of the countries in the form of another sector. Okay, so availability of fooder for them also food is needed now, and the product here, milk, is also a natural product because we are extracting straight away from the animals. This is also a natural thing. Similarly, whatever minerals you are finding in your surrounding, whatever ore content you are seeing in your surrounding are also called as a natural resources. Okay, so when we produce this kind of goods by exploiting the natural resources, this activity we call in the name of primary sector. Okay, with the help of natural resources, we are using some of the resources at primary level only. These are categorized under the primary sector. The another name of primary sector we call in the name of agriculture and related sector. Agriculture and related sector. So what are the activities will come under the agriculture sector then? We will classify the economic activities such as agriculture, dairy, farming, fishing, forestry. These kind of activities we will categorize under the primary sector. Okay, so the definition of primary sector, when we produce the goods by exploiting the natural resources, it is an activity of a primary sector. It forms the basis of all other products that we subsequently make. For an example, agriculture, dairy, fishing, forestry. These are called as a this also called as a agriculture and related sector there. So this kind of primary level only we are growing the crops. We are growing certain things, uh, that kind of a natural, by using the natural resources we are growing something else there. So that kind of activities we will categorize under the primary sector. So the another name for primary sector is agriculture or a related sector there. So the next kind of sector is secondary sector. Secondary sector covers the activities in which the natural products are being changed to the other form through the ways of manufacturing that we associated with the industrial activity. Same thing, I will take the example of cotton. Cotton fiber is a plant. From the cotton, we will turn that cotton to the spin yarn. That spin yarn, whatever yarn thread will be there, that thread will be once again we will send to the some garment factory. There they will weave the clothes. So in this way, the raw material as well as the natural resource cotton will be converted into the other forms in the ways of manufacturing. If you take the iron, iron is a raw metal as well as it is a natural metal. From the iron, what are the things you are making? Lot of things you are making. Benches you are making. You are making the benches, rods, as well as for the window grills. The window is having the grills. For that also the iron has been used. Oh, yes or no? For the building construction, rods will be there. It is also made by the iron. Yes, the iron is a natural resource. They will by using some manufacturing activities, we will change that natural product to some useful products there, so that the human beings can consume. Okay, I have taken the example of cotton fiber. We spin the yarn, the thread, whatever thread will be there, that thread will be sent to the different garment factories, and they will weave the cloth. And whatever clothes you are wearing, it is made up of cotton only. Same thing, sugarcane. Sugarcane is also natural product. From sugarcane, what you are extracting? Sugar as well as gur. In Kannada, we call it as the bella. So we convert the earth, whatever mud is available, red mud, we will convert into the bricks. That bricks will be useful for the construction of the houses. So since this sector is associated with different kinds of industrial activities, this sector is also called as the industrial sector. The another name of secondary sector is also called as industrial sector. So the third sector, what you will see after seeing the primary and secondary sector, there is a third category of the activities that falls under the tertiary sector there. So these activities are help in the development of a primary and the secondary sector. In the primary sector, you are growing a lot of things, natural resources. With the help of natural resources, you are growing and you are doing some economic activities there. In the secondary, you are converting that activities into something, some useful product. So service is needed, na? Okay, whatever you are producing the goods and goods, it should be transport from one place to another place. Without transportation, people can't buy your products. Yes or no? So such activities for the development of the primary and secondary sector, tertiary sector here playing very important role. Okay, this is like a support for the production which will be produced in the secondary and the primary sector, or they are called as an aid or a support. It will give a support to these two sectors there, in the form of transportation, in the form of storage. In the granaries, your crops will be stored. Communication, banking, trading, teachers, doctors, other examples, even banking also, trade, transportation, production will falls under this kind of activities will be formed under the tertiary sector. So these since these activities generate the services rather than the goods, rather the producing the goods and goods, it will give the service to the people. So this service we call it as a service sector. Service sector is also include some essential services that may not directly help in the production of the goods. For an example, we require teachers, doctors, and those who provide the personal services such as washermen, barbers, cobblers, lawyers, and the people to do the administrative or accounting the work. In the recent time, at the present situation, certain new services are also being included under the tertiary sector, like net cafe, internet cafe, ATM booth, call centers, software companies, etc. have become more important in the service sector. At the present situation, still we have added some more activities, which give as well as which produce, which will not helpful for the production of goods, but it will give the support as well as it will give service to the people. Okay, so that through this kind of activities also we can contribute something for the economic development in the country. So these are the activities what it will take place in a country. So according to that one, according to its nature, we have classified those activities into three forms. One is a primary sector, one is secondary, and third one is the tertiary. So in the last year only I have learnt, so this is the brief introduction about in a deeper way to understand what these three sectors will do. So next one, I have mentioned one title as well as I have mentioned one statement there. Economic activities that are grouped into the three category are highly interdependent with each other. Without one sector, the another two sector will not survive. All three are interdependent with each other. How? You will ask one question. How, ma'am? How uh, they are interdependent with each other? If I same thing, same example, if I take the cotton, farmers will grow the cotton. If farmers only are not ready to sell the cotton to the manufacturers, to the traders, means what could be happen about secondary sector there? The question will arise now. So this is an example. The secondary industrial sector is being dependent on primary sector. Some of the industries are there, some of the factories are there. Totally, they are depend on natural resources only. If those natural resources, the people will not sell to those the manufacturers as well as industrial people, means it is very difficult to survive those industries. As well as whatever finished goods you are seeing, that goods you will not see, as well as you will not consume. So secondary sector is dependent on primary sector. These two sectors are dependent on tertiary sector. In what way? Means you have produced the goods and services. Okay, you have produced the goods for the consume for the consuming these goods by the people. When transportation take place, when your goods are being sold out to the wholesalers and the retailers, from the companies, from the manufacturer companies, if this kind of services has not been given, means what could happen? Whatever you have been produced, it will be dumped in a dump yard, as well as it will called as a wastage only. Yes or no, children? So the economic activities, whatever you have been grouped, these all three are interdependent with each other. I hope you understood about how the economic activities are being interdependent with each other there. Same thing, the people, whatever services, doctors, teachers, the banking sector, banking people involved in the banking sector, communication. If those people, if their demand are not being fulfilled, and they will go for strike. Wha- Are they? Is there? These people can produce any kind of goods and services to the people in secondary sector? No. So totally, tertiary sector is dependent, as well as the secondary sector is dependent on service sector. So all three are dependent, interdependent with each other. Without one sector, other two sectors are being a little bit. They will not function properly. All three are interdependent with each other. So I will give one activity for you people. In your textbook 2.1, examples of economic activities, example they have given, what does it show is there. Okay, one example they have shown. Imagine what would happen if a farmer refused to sell all the sugar cane to a particular sugar mill. The mill will have shut down only. They have to close all kind of mills, whatever it is there in the country. So this is an example to show that secondary or industrial sector is being dependent on primary sector. Same thing, some other three examples are being given. Just try to find out the answer. You will understand how these sectors are interdependent with each other. Okay. So the next concept for you people means comparing all three sectors. How you are comparing all three sectors there. So, the various production activities in the primary, secondary, and tertiary sectors produce a very large number of goods and services. Okay, by using these all three sectors, all these three sectors will produce large number of goods and services, which will contribute for the economic development for a particular country. As well as all three sectors have a large number of people working in them to produce these goods and services are being produced. In term of economy, so this could be one or more sector which are dominant in terms of total production and employment level, while the other sectors are relatively small in size. How we will compare the economic activities as well as these three sectors? So large number of people are working, large number of people are getting the employment. They will produce certain production, that is total production in a particular year, how much goods and services we are produced, we call it as a production as well as total production. Which sector is more contributing towards the economic development, which sectors are producing very small in size, they are small in size, and they are also producing the goods and services, but the employment level, the total number of production we will see in a small number, not in a big number. So in the next session I'm going to explain how to compare all these three sectors by using a formula called GDP, that is gross domestic product. According to that one, um, the final goods and services are being calculated, as well as how these goods and services are being compared by using the total production of each sector, how many percentage they will produce the production. Okay, so in the next class, with the help of some examples, I am going to tell how the three sectors are being compared. Which sector is giving more contribution towards the economic development? In the next session, I am going to explain about this by taking few example. I hope today's class you have understood. This is the brief introduction about the in sectors of Indian economy. In the next class, I am going to explain about comparing all these three sectors for the economic development. So if you are having any kind of doubt, just pin your question in the group so that it will be helpful for me to sort out your problem. So signing out. Have a great day. Bye everyone.